Welcome to Food All You Never Wanted to Know. Today we're going to be doing some cookies, and not just any cookies, but butter cream cheese cookies. And this could be for Christmas, this could be for birthdays. What they are is cutout cookies. So if you come down here, I have all kinds of cutouts here. These are Christmas ones, gingerbread ladies, stars, gingerbread men, Christmas trees. And if you want just circles, these are some biscuit cutters that I got once, very cheaply. It was awesome. And they came in all different sizes. And not only that, but when you turn them around, they have ripples, and I really enjoy those a lot. So anyway, all kinds of cookie cutters. So what we're gonna do first is we have 2 ounces of cream cheese here, and maybe we should take a look at this if you want to write this down. Okay, this is just the ingredients. It has 2 sticks, which is a cup of softened butter, 2 ounces of cream cheese, softened to at least room temperature, a cup of sugar, an egg, 1 teaspoon vanilla, and these are kind of the wetter ingredients. And then the dry ingredients are 3 cups of flour. And for this, I do just use the all-purpose flour because this is not health food, folks. 1½ teaspoons baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt. If you're using unsalted butter, use a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. But I very rarely buy butter that's unsalted, so I have salted butter. So I have the cream cheese in the bowl. And I'm gonna put 2 sticks of butter in the bowl. Now, if you notice, I have here a nice KitchenAid, which my husband bought for me years and years ago. And at one point it was broken. And so I went back to getting cheaper kinds, hand ones. And you know something, I kind of go back and forth. I sometimes want one with a little bit more power, and sometimes I want one that just kind of is more malleable and I can like turn it around and around the bowl. So anyway, it's kind of like my, these. One of our family members gave us a used Vitamix a while ago, but I still keep my old regular kind of blender here because sometimes I want one with more power, sometimes I want one with just a little quick, quicker power. So anyway, so I have the butter. Oops. Don't do that. I'm doing it backwards because I'm trying to show you. So you lift this up. If I do it the right side up, okay. Now you close it up. See in there, the butter. Once again, mix up well with the cream cheese.
You're going to need to wipe it off the side.
Yep. So occasionally, when you're doing this, and this is the downside of having a nice strong mixer like this, which sits there, and you can't just take your hands and move it around. Now, when I was a kid, we had a mixer. I don't know if they make them anymore or not. The mixer itself moved around, and it was a little bit different from this. So, mix this again. Can you see that? Okay, I'm going to add the sugar. Really, you could have added the sugar in the beginning, but I didn't, so. A little bit slow till the sugar gets in there, and increase it. Stop it again and get the stuff off the sides. supposed to do this till it's nice and fluffy. Somewhere in here, I'm gonna put a teaspoon of,
It's too loud.
wow, I'm gonna put a teaspoon of vanilla in there. Don't know if it's fluffy yet, but it's going. Mix in the egg. Can you see that? Once again, you can see I need to get this up. It is a little more trouble to do it this way, but this mixer is way more powerful. And sometimes when I'm using the weaker, cheaper mixers, I burn out the motor. They are cheap, and I figure if I have to get another one every year or two, well, so be it. So get that together. Come over here. In this bowl we have the flour, the baking soda, the baking powder, and the salt. And I've already sort of whisked it together. And we gradually add this to the mixture. And hopefully we won't get powder on the lens. What do you think here? Okay, I'm gonna mix this a little bit at a time, and why don't we break and come back? Okay, so if we come down here, the dough, you can see how stiff that dough is. See that? It's very, very, very firm. That's what you want. And what I'm gonna do right now, grab a knife, because I think I wanna do this in 2 parts. Okay, you can do it any way that you would like. I like to kind of gently put it together. You don't want it to be tough. And usually what I do is I put just a little bit of flour. There's a board, and on top of the board I've put some parchment paper, okay? And I take this and I try to form, I think I'll do a circle, more or less, maybe an oblong circle. And as I do it just like I do the pie crust, I kind of push it down, and as I push it down, I push in with my other hand. And what you've got is a shape with the edges not cracking out so much, okay? And you can take this, I don't know if this will need a little bit of flour.
You can put the other parchment on top.
Oh yeah. My helper is a big help today. Put the other parchment on top. And I roll it. I don't want to roll it as thinly as pie crust. I might not need the paper when I first started. Let's see. Because what you're going to be doing is doing cutouts, any shape you'd like, for any time of the year. These cookies are delectable. They're sort of like, what are they called? The butter cookies.
Shortbread.
They're kind of like shortbread. Kind of like shortbread cookies. And I think if you didn't want to use the cream cheese, you could just put a little bit of butter in there, extra. Okay, let's see what point we're at. We want about 1/4 inch. I would call that about a 1/4 inch. Now, we're not going to cut these right away. All right? We're going to put them in the refrigerator for at least an hour. It can be longer. It could be till the next day if you'd like. So I'm going to put those on something firm, nice and flat. Put them in the refrigerator. And I'll do the other one too and do the same thing. And we will come back after it's well chilled. Welcome back. Took one of the rounds out of the refrigerator. We'll get to that in just a second. But I want to show you a trick. For these cookies, what you want to do is put parchment paper on the pan. Now you see, it's kind of hard to do. Kind of hard. That one's not too bad. What I do is I take a little bit of butter, cold butter from the fridge, and I use it like glue. Okay? And most of the time this works. Hopefully it'll work this time. Okay? Oh, I said okay. I'm trying not to say okay quite as many times. Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna say that anymore. This is what we're going to do. So I put the butter and see, it's sticking. Isn't that great? That's a little trick. I'm not gonna say okay. So once this has been in the refrigerator, you need to work with it sort of fast, because it will begin to get sticky. Now, another thing that I'd like to show you is over here, for those who like sugar more than I do, there are 3 little bowls of sugar. I'm going to take, if you'd like to color the sugar and make it pretty, you drop a little drop of food coloring in there. I don't really have a ton of time to do this because I'm trying to make this a shorter video. Anyway, it's turning pink. You could buy things like this in the store, and why? When you could put one little drop of food coloring in there and you have pink, red, whatever other colors you'd like to use. I'm going to make the next one green. And I'm gonna, there we go. I'm gonna keep the first one just plain. Woohoo! Okay, I'm coloring the bowl. All right. That will come out of the bowl. These are very good actually with not staining, so I'm happy about that. So we have these sugars ready. We come over here with some of the cutters. I'm gonna do a star first. This is a Christmas star, but it doesn't have to be a Christmas star. It could be, oh, if you have a child who just won a big award somewhere and you say, hey, your child is a star. Or anything that you'd like to do. Those are stars. I'd like to show how this works. This is beautiful. This is one of the smaller, ruffly ones. And because this dough is cold, it comes right out. See how that just comes right out? Isn't that beautiful? Now, if it starts to warm up, you'll have to put it back in the refrigerator. Isn't that gorgeous? You can also make circles. Just give it a little push. So it's a nice plain old cookie shape. Oh, that one fell. So I'll just take that out. And maybe I'll make a candy cane. I want to make mostly smallish ones. If you make too many of different sizes, then they'll cook at different times. But I think because the candy cane is thin, it'll probably be pretty much the same. Now, if you do want to put sugar on top, I don't like sugar on top of mine because I don't like a whole bunch of sweet. But let's see, I'll do some of the green. So I dipped it in water and I dip it in the sugar and then just kind of dab it on the top. Sometimes it works better than others. Okay. Oh, I said okay. So sorry. All it needs actually is a very little bit. I'm going to get one more glass. Oops. I don't have another glass that size. I'm using it to grow things in. So I'll wipe that off. Dip it in the water again. Get some of the other off. This is the pink. Put a little bit of the pink sugar. Okay. Oh, I said okay. We're gonna do a competition. See how many times I can not say okay. All right, and then I'm gonna do just a little bit with the white sugar. I think stars can use white sugar. And the candy cane, I'll do a little white sugar and then maybe I'll dip it in the pink too. Put a little bit of pink on there. Anyway, we'll be back in a little bit after I fill this tray and cook it. You can see what it looks like at that point. Here they are out of the oven, and they have a little bit of brown around the edges. You can tell, especially with the stars, they're getting brown on their points. This is a very delicate cookie. You don't want to overcook it. So I'm gonna take these off, put them here to cool, but I know full well they're not going to get away without us taste testing. Well, now see that one's overdone. Can you see that? That one's too dark, probably because it was thinner than the others.
That'll be mine.
You don't need to suffer, you can have a good one. Anyway.
I'll have a good one too.
Yeah, we're gonna share a bunch of these, but this is not the simple cookie to make. This takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of patience. And it's worth it. But again, as I said in the beginning, this is not a health food. It has calories, it has fat. If you use the right kind of butter, where the cows were simply grass-fed, no grain, it's not a bad fat. It's still calories. But this is worth it. Now, one thing, when you make your own cookies, you make your own treats, even though it's not the healthiest thing in the world, and obviously if you have sugar problems, you'll need to first not sprinkle the sugar on it and maybe lower the sugar in the recipe. There are no preservatives, there are no weird ingredients, there's no soy, there's no funny stuff, and there are no bad oils. So anyway, should we taste test, or do you think these are too hot?
When we come back.
When we come back, okay. So, here's what we've baked so far. These ones have no sugar on top. These ones have some. Again, I don't like them with sugar. You might like them with sugar. You can also make some decorator frosting and put frosting on top if you like to do that. And I've been itching to try one of these. These are so good.
Is that one with sugar?
No sugar. These are tender. These are good. If you want more sugar, put it on top. I like it plain. This is food. All you never wanted to know. Take care. Please like, share, subscribe.